So ahead of tomorrow's NBA free agency, one of the biggest trades of the offseason just happened, and it's pretty much expected that Paul George would get traded before or even during the free agency, but one team that I didn't think would even happen was OKC Thunder. I didn't think he'd be part of the OKC Thunder, but now Paul George is officially part of the OKC Thunder after a trade was made today involving Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis. So basically, in essence, that means that OKC literally turned Serge Ibaka's expiring contract into Paul George after 1 year when they made that trade with Orlando last year at the draft. Because last year at the draft was that trade between Orlando and OKC where they sent that 11th overall pick, which is Sabonis and Oladipo, to OKC for Serge Ibaka, and they turned both those assets back into Paul George. If we look at this one, they're not really getting that much value out of Paul George for Indiana. Let's try this trade on 2K. So George straight up for Victor Oladipo and Sabonis. We'll go through, and it doesn't because of the salary cap. So let's go straight up the salary cap first and see if this trade will work out on 2K. Turn financial rules off, and there we go. So hopefully this works out on here. Pretty much every single trade I've done so far has to go and turn off the financial rules because the amount of money being thrown around is insane in these contracts. So Paul George to the Thunder for, we got Victor Oladipo and Sabonis. That's the trade so far I've seen on Twitter and stuff. So will it work? It doesn't because there's too many players. So let's send one more player back, which will probably end up being Raheem Christmas because he's the lowest guy on there. So Raheem Christmas thrown in there to make it work, and George for Oladipo and Sabonis. We'll go through, and it works out because it's a steal for OKC in this trade. Let's go try it out on OKC's end and see if it works. Trade load up on this end. Let's take a look at this one at a 2K perspective. So Oladipo, 77 overall, 24 years old, acquired last season in the trade with Serge Ibaka, but so he had a comeback year. Still got traded for a rental player in Paul George unless Russell Westbrook can work some of the MVP magic and bring him back and make him re-sign. But I doubt it's going to happen though. He's probably going to go to LA in 2018. But still, they also acquired Domantas Sabonis, the 11th overall pick last season in the draft. And I mean, he's alright, I guess. He's looking pretty good, but still, I don't know why the Pacers did not try and acquire any picks in this trade though. At least like maybe even a second round pick would have been good, but still couldn't get even more, like even a single second round pick out of this, or even a pick in general in this trade. So you could tell like the Pacers were not getting that good of trade offers if they result for this one, but still Oladipo's a decent player, can fit in pretty well in Indiana. Sabonis has got some potential, so there's always that. So let's try to trade on OKC's end. We have Sabonis, Oladipo for George and Christmas to make it work. We'll go through. This will not work, so you're asking me to give away a valuable asset, Paul George, when none of the assets to get back seem nearly as valuable. That's not happening. However, I have a counter offer, okay? And they want the counter offer, Russell Westbrook in the trade for Aaron Brooks. This is just stupid, so I'm going to decline that one, but we'll go and see what both players look like on both their teams in the lineups and in their new jerseys. Make the trade work, and we forced it. Okay, so now Paul George is now part of the OKC Thunders. Take a look at this one in the lineup card, and now you have Westbrook at point guard, Roberson at shooting guard, Paul George at small forward, Taj Gibson, Steven Adams, Cantor, Jeremy Grant. I mean, it's a pretty decent looking team though. They could probably go, like with Paul George, they're a much better team than they were last season, but still, they're losing a little bit more depth with Oladipo being gone, and obviously Sabonis with prospect on the team. But still, they could probably go and make some pretty good signings with Paul George now on the squad, along with the MVP Russell Westbrook on the squad too. So Paul George, number 13, part of the OKC Thunder, now in real life. So Paul George looking pretty good in that jersey, but still, I think he's still going to LA. Let's take a look at this one though on the Pacers perspective. And now here's a team with Victor Oladipo and Sabonis on the squad. You have Oladipo at shooting guard. But now the team is looking pretty bare with no superstar on the team anymore with Paul George being gone. So the best player in the team now looks to be Miles Turner. And they might go and maybe revolve their rebuild around Turner for the future, because this man is going to be great in a few more years of development. But we have Thad Young, CJ Miles, Oladipo, Jeff Teague. It's an alright team, but I don't know, I just don't see him doing well next season with Paul George being gone off the squad. But in my opinion, obviously OKC wins this one because you're getting Paul George straight up for Sabonis and Oladipo. And those two, like Oladipo, it kind of stings to lose him, but Sabonis, I don't know, he is alright, but I mean, you could probably part with him in this trade. So Paul George now part of the OKC Thunder. And I'm just so glad though he's not in Boston though, because if he would have went to Boston with Gordon Hayward, Paul George, Isaiah Thomas, the team would have been a nightmare in the NBA. But I guess on this episode over here, make sure to subscribe for more of these trade breakdown videos, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.